Hello everybody, this is Simon with Let's Play Sonic Unleashed. Last time I started the video on the title screen to show that usually it seamlessly goes from the view of the globe to the country selection on said globe. Not this time, however. We are locked into Spagonia Night, where we left off last time. And yes, we will in fact clear the side quest again for some reason. The game has taken over for a linear segment again, and we are in fact about to walk into a cutscene. I don't think they intended for me to take a break in between here. This is why it's so awkward.
Yes, this is so much fun! I love it!
Hey, what's the big idea?
Look at that! I really know how to dance! Come on, babe, let's dance the night away! Yes, this is so much fun!
Whoa! Is there some kind of party going on?
Look at that!
No, something's not right here. Oh, it's a carnival of creeps out there.
People dancing on the night streets in not Italy? That must be the work of evil spirits. Anyway, this is our tutorial for a fairly large mechanic of the game, one of the main sources of side quests, which has to deal with the uncanny camera that we just got. I'm trying out my new move here in the air, kind of fancy. Kind of nice, and apparently, as Stormbrain has pointed out in the thread, can be used for speedruns. I do vaguely remember that, but thanks for pointing it out again, because I would have forgotten. But yeah, it gives you a little bit of extra aerial distance towards the front, and so you can skip some gaps that you're not meant to clear. That's cool. Anyway, I just beat up these losers, because this is absolutely mandatory. It feels like just a bit of a letdown combat difficulty-wise. I don't know. Anyway, there is another cutscene explaining what just happened. See you afterwards.
Huh? What was I just doing? Hey! Wait up!
Just now, was that Sonic?
Ah, that should calm things down a bit around here. Chalk another one up for Sonic.
You know Sonic?
Of course. He was here just a moment ago.
Tell me what's happened to him. Please, tell me everything you know.
I'll happily explain everything over a plate of cucumber sandwiches.
And yes, off-screen, Amy simply gets explained the deal with Sonic, and this whole plot point and possible source of angst is just gone. And so, if I recall correctly, is Amy's role in the game. Oh well. Anyway, I wanted to take this opportunity, as we are on side attractions anyway with that mandatory tutorial, to show off a few of those things, because the game has once again opened up with the camera in town. Now we can actually exorcise the evil spirits from people, like for example for Aida here, who just doesn't want to clean up after midnight in her shop, which is inexcusable. What kind of work ethic is that? And we better exorcise these evil spirits that make her have this unbelievable attitude. Anyway, this combat encounter, because this is now optional, you don't have to do any of that. Once again, if you don't want to bother with the camera, that's fine, the game doesn't care, it's cool. But because this is optional, it's a much longer encounter, and it is actually going to give us a preview of some enemy types that are only going to come up later. So this basically is reused content in a way. We have seen this street before, though now it is not the city map. It's now populated with enemies instead of NPCs. And of course, it's just a few enemies that are pasted into the street. So there is nothing special about these. They can be a little bit boring after a while, of course. However, there is a few advantages to this. First of all, you're not ranked. You do have a time limit, but it's usually pretty generous, unless you're really screwing up. And if you're using Unleash and all of the various techniques, then it really should not be that big of a deal. However, as I said, they are in fact adding some rather strong enemies here, even though my strength is fairly high at this point and I have been upgrading all of my combat skills and so on. These guys here are no slouch. They actually can block fairly well, they have quite a lot of defense. Then we have these annoying guys here, and you do have to clear the whole wave before the next one spawns, so it's not trivial from a combat sense. But again, the time limit should not be the biggest issue here. What this offers, however, is a chance to practice, because in a level you're always dealing with other stuff, like you want to explore, you want to do platforming. Here you are only doing the combat, and it actually gives you quite a lot of experience. If you do these things on the side as they come up, then the levels themselves tend to be a lot nicer with regards to the amount of damage you do, the amount of combos you have available, and so on. For example, against these annoying wizards, I am doing fairly well in stun-locking them so that they can never do anything, and I am glad that I started to use aerial attacks more, because they really are a godsend against these, and it's good that I am learning the combos as I go. Because, yeah, frankly, it's quite necessary. These can be really annoying. They tend to dodge out of the way a lot. They can heal other enemies. They can paralyze you with electric abilities. These ones, I'm pretty sure, are healers. There are buffers later on. So it depends on the kind of wizard. You can tell at some point. I am not super good at that yet. But this one, once again, one of these skills that will come back to me as I remember, as I play the game more. In general, though, I do remember them being really annoying. And yeah, this is still ongoing, so it's definitely a little bit of a step up, the possible second one of these you do, compared to the very first one where you are forced to exorcise all of the spirits at once that you can see in the cutscene from a whole crowd of people. And apparently this one woman had these 60 spirits of laziness inside her. Again, how dare she want to take a night off? And we have to take care of that, yeah. I'm considering at some point speeding these up, but for now let's just look at them, and I can talk about things as they come up. But in general, let me know what you think about this. If you do consider my commentary ASMR in general, then this is going to be fine for you. But yeah, as we see here now, we just gained quite a bit of levels from these fairly high leveled enemies as well. And that means that I can unlock a few more skills for myself, and that is always nice. And I can get the Unleash Gorge up. I just generally wanted to spread myself out a little bit more, because I've started using shields a bit more, so it's good to have more shields and so on and so forth. Anyway, Aida is finally getting her lazy ass off the ground and is going to clean up her shop, and this also always has consequences for the daytime versions of these NPCs. So whenever you are talking to them in day, they are like, oh, I don't know, I didn't get anything done, what's wrong with me? This is, by the way, what happens if you zap somebody who doesn't have a problem. Small cutscene. And once you have exorcised them, then you can talk to them again in daytime, and they're like, I'm feeling much better, I don't know what happened, what came over me, and so on. And I do think in general this proves again how much attention to detail really is in this game. There is so much dialogue you can get if you are thorough and do things in the right order. But again, I hope this proves why I'm not pre-planning too much here. I would go completely insane. Let's just take things as they go. Overall, you can't really miss anything. Hey, there's Amy. You can talk to her, and I do think, again, that her dialogue never updates. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but that's all that she's going to do for the foreseeable future. Yay. Anyway, I am moving along towards one more thing that has unlocked for us now. A little bit more subtle, because it requires you to just keep talking to NPCs, but now they are actually going to offer side quests. Yeah, this game has side quests, and quite a whole lot of them, and they are substantial sometimes. I'm going to talk about a much bigger one later on. This one here is merely a 3-minute thing, but this is not just replaying part of the stage. This is completely new. All of these obstacles have been changed significantly. Like, I don't know how much you recall the last stage, but there was not a central pole at the start or in the middle, for example, which we are using now, and all of these gears have been changed and so on. We don't have the very annoying electrical sounds in the background anymore. We have this button here which releases an enemy. Rude, like it's just a trap for some reason. I don't quite know. You could also just ignore the enemy, I don't know. But yeah, I do like this a lot, because it's a very small focused challenge. It's only a one-time thing, it's not ranked. However, you can replay these, and that's good, because in fact there are medals in these as well. So if you do these and you're just like a medal or 3 short, then there is actually a reward waiting for you in most of these side quest levels that is completely separate from the normal level. And again, if you like the game, then this is a great thing to do. Also, I can open this door and there's fuck all behind it. What's going on? Yeah, I'm not saying that these are like brilliant or anything, but I do appreciate this extra level of effort, this use of their assets, giving you a little bit more to do in this room that I liked in the first place. So that's all fine by me. And once again, you do want to free medal here, by the way, but they are sometimes hidden. You do want to be somewhat efficient, somewhat quick, because there is a time limit, but I did it in like half the allotted time, so that's cool. The only thing you need to do is touch the boy in the end, and we have officially found him on his caper up here. And that's the side quest done. Most of these are relatively simple, very, very short self-contained affairs like this, but there are some that are actually quite substantial, as I said. And fun fact, the next one that we could have access to, which I'm going to show off in a second, but why not talk about this right now? His wife has also a side quest, as she was just hinting at that there is still an issue with her daughter now. And that side quest we are going to see in due course. I will do all of the side quests probably, because it's very unique content very often. But it's actually playing the entire day stage of Rooftop Run before you can actually get the stage normally, which is crazy to me. I will get to that in a second again when I actually show it off, because that is just mystifying to me why they did it like this. But I mean, this game sometimes has a few problems with pacing itself, so let's be honest, that is completely expected and is kind of endearing. Definitely the second time I played this game, the first time I was just like going through it a little bit, like here and there, trying out some stuff like I think many people do. The second time I was like, wait, actually I haven't unlocked the level yet, and I'm just doing it now. That's interesting. Anyway, so this one here is a different part of the streets, of course, so they are reusing different maps at the very least. We're not just fighting enemies in the Grand Plaza before the university again. Here I finally realized, I unlocked my first special attack, which is a running attack. Very nice. And this is actually also a significantly more deep part of the Werehog gameplay that, again, a lot of people who don't check their skills might not even realize, or they're just randomly hitting buttons. But here, if I am hitting the heavy attack button after a run, Sonic is actually doing this very, very interesting multi-claw combo that deals quite a lot of damage to these guys here, and it's a great way to start a fight. And there are going to be a bunch more like this later on that are really good, and it definitely pays to look at them sometimes. And it's like, as I have said before, I don't really like memorizing combos, but this one's just pressing a button, it's fine by me, right? So that's cool. And I've used it again here, just charging at this guy, it's fine, he gets hit very easily. And the final part of the level here, with a bunch more people spawning in at once. Like, it always looks like, oh, there's so many guys here, but you have to consider that there is these groups of like 10 small fries that usually get taken out immediately, so that's also just fine. And if you properly unleash here for the wizards, also not a problem. This guy was charging up an electrical blast, very annoying, but I have actually re-recorded this segment because I was like, okay, what can I even do with this and this, making some notes. Sometimes I do that, and I realized I had to take care of them immediately, really quickly, and that's what I did. And here's the last one. And also, by the way, if you want to maximize the rewards, once you kill the final enemy, the level immediately ends. So if there are still large crystals lying around, you probably want to make sure to pick them up before you kill the last enemy. It's not a big deal usually, like there are better grinding spots than this, but why waste them if they are just lying around for free anyway, right? So, moving on with that. Once again, we have cleared somebody of her funk, depression. If only it was always so easy, right? And once again, missed some dialogue, by not talking to Gigi beforehand. He would have complained that his wife doesn't feel the same, and so on. And please forgive me again. If you really want all of this dialogue, I strongly suggest playing the game for yourself. It is good. I like it. It's a lot of fun. And again, I hope that I'm showing you a little bit of a guide on how to enjoy it. And if you really do like these talking bits, like I do, like generally, I'm not a story guy, but I do think that this gives the world a lot of flavor, a lot of stuff to do, then again, strongly recommend going through it. So, this is the day pendant to the side quest that we just did in night, but I'm not going to do this because that's one thing that just blindsided me completely. I'd forgotten about this. That yeah, she just asks you to play the entire day stage rooftop run, but with a time limit, and because it's a side quest, if you die once, then it's over and you have to restart the whole level. It's just the whole level with just a few bits taken out, like at the very start and at the very end, I think. But it was like, oh, okay, so we are really doing this. It's not just a tiny segment as in the Werehog. Though, to be quite honest, I don't think that there is a side quest like this, and it would really suck if you had to replay an entire Werehog level with no deaths and a time limit, though usually the time limit shouldn't matter. It's usually like 20 minutes or whatever. Yeah, that would be terrible, so that's why they are only taking segments of the Werehog levels. Now is the time where the audience is like, yeah, they should have cut all of the Werehog levels down to 5 minutes, and I'm like, yeah, maybe. Some of them are pretty good. Like Rooftop Run at Night, I like it. Anyway, this is one of these things that are also completely optional. This is not a side quest attached to this, I'm pretty sure. But they are setting up some character relationships here. An obvious love triangle that is going on here. And this is going to continue throughout the game. As usual, I can't promise that I'm always going to talk to these NPCs at every stage of their development as the story continues. However, if you were so inclined, you could talk to them all the time, travel around the world, have a ground world adventure, you know, and keep unlocking new dialogue, find out how they are doing and how their story is progressing. And as far as I know, for these three, for example, Sonic doesn't do anything. Like, you're not matchmaker, they're just slowly going to figure out their feelings, and I do like that. Again, it's once again, it's completely optional, just gives the world some extra texture, gives the NPCs something to do that is not just I am reacting to the last event of the story. Anyway, entrance stage stuff, because we have a little bit of time, right? So I'm going to see what I have just unlocked with the Stomp ability, and it's a juicy extra new ability hiding here, and we can actually get to it. This is kind of hard to see, but it requires the Stomp to unlock, and then it requires the Stomp to land here correctly. Once you have seen that the pulley is on that pillar, then you can go up here and also cheat a little. You're not supposed to get this like that, but then you get the wall jump shoes. Yeah, because obviously these ring trails mean something, and we have seen quite a bit of them before, and now we can actually do something about this. I'm not super fond of the wall jump in this game. It's pretty jank, honestly, because the problem with it is, first of all, this is a 3D game, even though sometimes it forgets that, and that means that I can't get that stupid medal because I started too far in the back, and also if you start too close to the wall, you can't wall jump. For some reason, if Sonic is in his ball form, then you can't wall jump, you have to get out of it first, and that's just very, very strange. Also here I'm trying to cheat again with the moon medal, but I just realized, oh wait, this is actually also part of the wall jump tutorial, because you can do that. And now I could conceivably, if I had the ability, use another ability, like Speed Dash, obviously, to go along that ring trail. I don't have that ability, so that's it for Day Sonic on this part. However, there is more wall jump stuff to be had. Again, I really like these small parts here where you can do some exploration, usually pretty chill, in the entrance stages. Find a few items that are hidden around, usually for side quests and so on, get some extra lives, just some neat interactions. Sometimes they're just for levels, like here for example, you have to do all of that to unlock the side act, but of course we can't unlock the side acts yet because we haven't done the main act yet, in case you forgot. Even though we have been to Spagonia very often, we have done Rooftop Run Night, but we haven't done Rooftop Run Day yet, so not everything is unlocked. However, this is the way Day Sonic actually gets to replay the tornadoes chase. Yay, finally! I've been looking for an opportunity for so long. And also you get 2 extra lives for that, so that's neat. And again, this doesn't work. You have to be a little bit further away from the wall, and then you better follow the ring trail, or otherwise you will get laughed at by the Eggman Springs. Here is another side act, so once again, another rooftop run at some point. Just pointing that out, that we can't do that right. We can now crawl underneath here, if you can do it. It's always a little bit awkward. It's almost like they shouldn't have this in the game. But now we are done with Day Sonic. There is still more stuff to do as the Werehog. For example, we can turn around here, and there has always been this grip here taunting us basically, and this is how you're supposed to get the art program, like, oh right, okay, cool. That was a bit useless, but you know, I like to show things of the way they are meant to be played, and this is how you are supposed to get that. Turn around basically and do it with the Werehog, but you can't cheat because it's a Sonic game. Sequence breaking with your abilities is just the name of the game, isn't it? Anyway, there is another thing hidden here, which I really think it's pretty cool actually. If you're just exploring the game normally, just going through it like story, okay, cool, unlock this, do this level, then you're never going to see this. This is a whole extra area here that has a bunch of extra gameplay in it. That it's not bad at all, in my opinion. It explores some stuff, like for example hanging here while the platform is moving. Then we can get some extra medals. Once again, if you've been wondering where they are in the entrance stage, they are here. And also we can get some more extra lives, which might be relevant because I've been bleeding those in the Act 3 level. Boy, have I ever died a lot. And there is also opportunity to lose the extra life, granted, because you can fall into this water and die. This part of the entrance stage is legitimately somewhat challenging. However, there is more, because this is what the Werehog can do here. We have, I think, exhausted his part here, but there is of course another hourglass to change time and of day, and this is actually once again part of a puzzle. They are using this to make you do a few things, and Day Sonic's version of the stage is slightly different, to build up a few ring energies here, and we have seen another side act that we can't do that yet. So that's something to keep in mind for later. 3 extra levels hidden here. Very fun, very cool. And now we are stuck here. No, we're not. We could boost back, but it's much easier to just go back completely, like so. And for now, this is where I want to stop. Next time, a little bit more exploration, just showing off what we can do. For now, though, thank you very much for your attention.